my God, it's a Goldwing recall. Ah! Okay, you guys knew it was coming. Maybe you didn't. You can come on in here. Honda is going to have the second recall for the 2018 plus Honda Goldwing. This one is going to affect 18 to 21 models. And there is a bolt that fails in the engine, breaks off, the head breaks off of it, falls down in the engine, and everything's bad. Now, let's start off by saying, actually the symptom is pretty simple. You're riding along, your engine goes silent, your bike coasts to a stop, never starts again, and it has to be towed. So I have never heard of anyone that has had any type of an engine lockup, wheel lockup, any personal harm, nothing. It's just the motorcycle coasts to a stop, and wherever you happen to stop, that's where you are that day. So the bolt is in the upper left rear corner of the engine, and the bolt exists on both 6-speeds and DCTs. Coincidentally, it just seems like all the cases I personally have ever heard of have all been 6-speed bikes. So the letters will go out in January. Obviously, all this stuff gets leaked and then gets disseminated on the internet so that all of the old guys can do coffee, what do you call it, spit takes when they see recall in the morning on the internet. My Goldwing, my vacation's ruined. Oh my God. So, my advice to you is ride your bike. Honda has a stop sell order. I'm not sure how many 2018 to 21 model Goldwings Honda dealers are still selling, but if they had one, they're not allowed to sell it. And then you'll get in line effectively to get this problem fixed. Now, I'm certain that the prescribed method starts with removing the engine. That's already a major strike against most Honda dealers, because at this point in time, there's so few people qualified to remove and replace the engine in a Honda Goldwing that there's only going to be a handful of dealers in the United States that are going to be capable of doing this job correctly. But once the engine is removed, you do have to open the back end of the engine, and all that's going to be required to fix this problem is the gasket. There's the part number if you want to go ahead and buy it yourself. If, say, you don't trust your local Honda dealer and you're out remote. And a bolt. There's the part number, and I'll show you the bolt. What this has been described as is a metallurgical problem, or a heat treating problem, to where the bolt isn't hard enough. So when it's installed on the motorcycle and torqued, basically the head of the bolt pops off and drops down into basically the clutch basket and the gears that are behind the engine case. It gets chewed up. It's literally like someone drops a grenade inside the engine, and it's a disaster. So this is this is not the culprit. This is the correct part. After 2021, the part number was updated for whatever that tells you, and so they're not issuing this recall on 22 and up models. So if you have a 22 and up, go ahead and go on vacation and don't talk about it anymore. Don't join a thread. No one wants to hear any more people squabbling over that don't even need to be involved. So if it's anything like the fuel pump, dealers aren't going to have the bolts, not going to have the gaskets, not going to have the train guy. It's going to take forever and ever before the line even gets going. So you might as well just ride your bike and enjoy it. Instances of this bolt failure are spectacularly rare. And the instances before the recall, when it did happen, I've only heard nothing but stories of Honda honorably repairing the motorcycle back to working order at no cost to the owner. Having said that, if I were the owner of a bike that had the bolt fail, it fell down in the engine and went in there, I would not. I've heard that they would clean the engine out and put the new parts back. I promise you, you could not convince me to take ownership of a motorcycle that had an explosion in it, that didn't have everything in the drive, from the engine cases, bearings, every part that moves and spins inside the engine replaced. You know, once that happens and metal goes into every galley, oil galley, and every passage and every tube, and God himself can't get that junk out of all those tiny passages. And particularly there's miles and miles of oil galleys and things in a Honda Goldwing engine. You'll never fix it. It'll never be right. It'll always be failing. So I would never accept anything less than basically a complete brand new engine if that was me. And after that, you know, God, you know, so few people ever will do that job. There's no way you'll ever get a bike back to the standard that Honda built it. Now, in this case, for most people, the bolt won't have failed. That is a job that if somebody removes the engine, they're just taking the rear cover off, pulling a bolt out, putting a new bolt back, putting the cover back on. I don't think you have to be so as alarmed by that. I would obviously pick a big dealer that has, you know, a top tier tech that's people know all around America, and take your bike to those people and let them do it, even if you have to truck or trailer it there. If you're crazy enough to want to do this yourself, I've kind of taken a look at it, although I've not truly attempted it. But I'm going to bet that there's going to be someone crafty out in the United States who figures out how to change this bolt without removing the engine. So that may be by partially removing the engine, or by removing the swing arm assembly and the fuel tank and coming at it in that fashion. But usually when giant mechanical recalls come like this, somebody really smart figures out how to beat the system, because Honda will be paying the full price for the engine to be removed and the cover and the bolt to be replaced. So this is going to cover a lot of motorcycles. It's going to take a lot of time. You know, there's, like I said, it's me. You know, I know people with 100,000 miles on a 2018 that with no, you know, obviously there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Goldwings that have been driven millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions, billions and billions and billions, as our new president is going to say, billions and billions of miles. And, you know, like this many have blown up. You know, it's just not a big problem. So I wouldn't worry about it. Go ride your bike. When you get your notice, get in line. That's today's tragedy and news. Now, go jump on GL1800riders.com and start bashing your keyboard away and have a really pleasant day from here on out. My name's Max. Please give this video a thumbs up. Share with your friends. Oh my God, the new tragedy. And come back to my channel for more great content real soon.